Hi, this is Heather from A More Crafty Life. Today I'm going to show you how to do a half double herringbone double thick pot holder. For this pattern, I'm using an F or a 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, and Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn. And this one is tangerine. For the original pattern, I made it in teal. So the first thing that we're going to do is you can chain any number for this pattern. For the pot holder, I chose 35. So the first thing we're going to do is chain 35. Okay, so once you have your chain, you are going to do a half double herringbone stitch in the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3. So you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then go through the next loop that was on your hook, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. And that's it. You're just going to repeat this stitch for the whole pattern. So it's really easy. It's just a slight variation, but it gives a slant to the stitch. And once you've gotten used to it, it's just as easy as a half double crochet. So you yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through the second loop, yarn over, and pull through the last 2 loops. And you're going to continue that. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, go through the second one, yarn over, and pull through the 2 loops. Okay, so you can kind of see what it looks like here. You're going to continue to the end of the row. Okay, when you finish your last herringbone half double crochet, your stitches should look like this. Then you're going to chain 2 and turn. So chain 2, and then the chain 2 counts as your first stitch. You are going to do a herringbone half double crochet in the second stitch. And you are going to repeat this row, the half double herringbone half double crochet, for the entire row, and then you're going to change 2 and turn, and you're going to keep repeating this. I did 28 rows to make a square, and then you are going to make 2 of them so it's double thick. When you're done with both of your squares, then you can whip stitch or sew them together. I left at the other end, I'll leave a long tail so then I can just stitch them together. Thank you for watching this tutorial. You can find the written pattern at my blog, A More Crafty Life. Heather from A More Crafty Life. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple double thick pot holder using Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn in Coral Ombre Seas. This is 100% cotton yarn, which you'll want for making pot holders, so in case they might melt. I'm using an H hook. This is a simple project that I learned not long after I started crocheting when I was 8. This video will be left-handed, as all my other videos are, because I can't crochet right-handed. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is chain 36. Any number will work. This makes about a 7-inch pot holder square. So first, you're going to make your slip knot. So you make a loop and pull through like this, and then tighten it down, slip it on your hook. And then for my project, I chained 36. So let's get started. I will meet you at the end after I have my 36. Now that I have my chain of 36, I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So here's the first one and the second, and I'm going to do one single crochet in the second chain from the loop. And then I'm going to do one single crochet for each stitch, each of the chain, each chain. And these pot holders are great. They keep you from being burnt, so they're practical. They're double thick. I like using Lily Sugar and Cream yarn for them because it's a little stiffer cotton yarn, which works great for the pot holders. You can get at least one pot holder out of each skein of yarn. It's a great way to use up scrap cotton. You can mix and match. Just finish your row with one single crochet in each one, and we'll show you when we come to the end. Now that I've finished my row, it should look like this. I have one single crochet in each of the chains. Now I'm at the end. I'm going to put 3 single crochets in the last stitch. So I already had 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to turn it around so you're on the back side, so the original chain. And then I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each of the stitches on this side. So if I get that out of the way, 1 single crochet in each of the chain, but on the other side. And it will start to look like this. And you want to keep going with 1 single crochet in each of the chains on this side, kind of making a long oval. And you can make this any size. You can even make it large enough to be like a pillow or cushion size. Keep going, 1 single crochet in each one. Like I said, it will look like this. And we're almost back to where we started. So when you've got one in each stitch, then the last stitch you are going to put 3. So I have 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to turn and you're going to start your first round. So this is what they call in rounds. You just keep going around in a circle. You don't need to slip stitch or anything. You're just going to keep doing a single crochet in each stitch until the two sides meet each other. So I'll show you what this looks like for a round. Okay, so I finished those 3 there, and now I'm going to start on this, my first round, and I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. And that's it. It should just look like this, and you keep going. You don't have to add any additional stitches, and as you continue, it will eventually meet in the middle, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then all you'll need to do is sew it, either slip stitch it or sew it together, and then you will have a pot holder. So keep continuing. I did 20 rounds to make my pot holder. You want to measure it to make sure all 4 sides when it's flat, and I'll show you that when I've got to the end. When you've done enough rows to make your square, you're going to want to lay it out flat and make sure that it's even. When your 2 sides match, you can either slip stitch it together, which is what I do frequently. It does leave a kind of ridge at first, but when you wash it, it flattens out. So to do that, you leave your yarn still attached where you were, and you go to the first stitch. You insert your hook through both of the stitches, yarn over, and then you pull back through plus the loop that was already on your hook. And then you just repeat. Insert through the 2 stitches, pull up a loop, go through them all, and continue. I like this way because then I don't have to get out a yarn needle or tapestry needle and do it that way. But if you don't like it, had some people will be like, well, it makes a raised line. Well, works fine for me. If you don't like that, you can always just use a tapestry needle. So for that, you are going to want to finish your last stitch at the top, at the corner. Then you're going to cut your yarn and knot it. And then you get out your tapestry needle, and you want to leave yourself a long enough tail. I have mine doubled over just because I don't want to cut it. And then what you're going to do is go through the top of each stitch, just the top part. And you're going to sew back and forth. And that should give you a pretty flat seam. And you're going to go back and forth down the whole thing. And then when you're done, should look like this. And this is the other side where we started. The small sides would make, if you had just some left over from your hot pad, you can make yourself some coasters if you chain 18. You can find this written pattern of this simple double thick pot holder on my blog, A More Crafty Life, plus hundreds of other free patterns. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Hi, this is Heather from A More Crafty Life. Today I'm going to show you how to do a double thick crunch stitch pot holder. I'm using an F or a 5 crochet hook, which is a 3.75 millimeter, and Lily sugar and cream cotton yarn worsted weight. This is tangerine. For the original pattern, I used coral. Okay, for this pattern, you need an odd number, and I used 35. So the first thing I'm going to do is chain 35. Okay, so after you have your 35, you are going to slip stitch in the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3. And slip stitch is just insert your hook and pull through the loops. And then a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. And then this is your pattern. Slip stitch, half double crochet. So you're going to finish this, you're going to repeat this until the end, ending with a slip stitch. So, slip stitch again, you insert your hook, you pull through a loop, and you pull through the loop on your hook. Then half double crochet. This pattern, the crunch stitch, makes a tight stitch with few holes. It's easy to do, but it's not particularly fast because the height of the slip stitch makes you don't gain height very fast, but it's easy to do, and it works great for something like a pot holder where you want it to be nice and thick so you don't burn yourself. And I use a smaller hook on this to make sure that there isn't many holes. That there isn't any holes. And you're going to make 2 of these squares. So you just keep repeating this until the end, and I'll show you at the end. Okay, so I'm at the second to the last stitch. You do a half double crochet, and then you do a slip stitch in the last one. Then you're going to chain 2 and turn. So 1, 2, and I turn my work. And then I'm going to slip stitch on top of the half double crochet I did the row below. So this here would be the slip stitch I did, and then this is the half double crochet. So then I'm going to slip stitch on top of it. Then I'm going to do a half double crochet on top of the slip stitch from the row before. And then you're just going to alternate that. And you know you've got the right stitch if it's opposite. You put your half double crochet on top of the slip stitch and the slip stitch on top of the half double crochet. So here's my half double crochet. The next one's a slip stitch, and you just keep repeating until the end of the row. And this is, you repeat the second row until you have 38 stitches. and at the end you always chain 2. And you will end with a slip stitch. Okay. So you just keep repeating, half double crochet, slip stitch. And this is what your pattern starts to look like. Then once you've got one square done, you will leave a long tail, and then you will make a second one the same size. Then use the long tail of yarn to sew it together or whip stitch it, and you'll have a double thick crunch stitch potholder. You can see the full pattern plus pictures on my blog, A More Crafty Life. Thanks. This is Heather from A More Crafty Life. Today I'm going to show you how to make a crochet washcloth using the crunch stitch. In the original pattern, I used Lily Sugar and Cream in Coral Sea Ombre. For this example, I'm using with an H hook. This example, I'm using Coral Rose and an H hook. The crunch stitch is an easy stitch, alternating slip stitch with half double crochet. You need an odd number for the pattern. For the washcloth, I used 41. So I'm going to chain 41. Okay, I'm going to keep going and then I'll be back. Okay, now that I have 41, or any odd number would work, I am going to slip stitch in the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, slip stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through a loop, and then pull through the loop on your hook. Then 1 half double crochet, so yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and insert all 3 loops. And then you're just going to alternate slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet until you get to the end of the row where you're going to end with a slip stitch. And I will repeat until the end. Okay, so we're back at the end, close to the end, and slip stitch, then a half double crochet, and then your last stitch, like I said, is going to be a slip stitch. So you slip stitch, then you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. So this chain 2 counts as your first stitch, and you're going to slip stitch in the next stitch, which is the half double crochet from the row below. So it's going to alternate. Every time there's a half double, you're going to do a slip stitch, and every time there's a slip stitch, you're going to do a half double crochet stitch. And then you're going to just repeat this across. And this is you're going to repeat row 2 for the rest of the pattern until you have the length you want, or I like to make my washcloth square. and you just keep repeating. And then I'll show you at the end where you put your last stitch. Okay, so when you get to the end, you have what looks to be like one stitch left, but you have this and then the chain. So you do slip stitch followed by a half double crochet, and then in the where you chained, that's where your last slip stitch goes. One slip stitch, and then you chain 2 and turn. And then you'll just keep repeating row 2 until you have the height you want, or a square. You can find this pattern and the ear warmer on my blog, A More Crafty Life. Thank you for watching. Hi, this is Heather from A More Crafty Life. Today I'm going to show you how to do my even moss stitch double thick pot holder. And this is an easy pattern that makes a great double thick pot holder using Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn. In this case, this color is Coral Sea Ombre, and I'm using an H 5mm crochet hook. For this pattern, you want an even number of crochet stitches. And another thing that's great about it is you can make one with less than 1 skein of yarn, and it's a pretty quick pattern. So for this one, I chained 36. And as you notice, all my video tutorials are left-handed. So, and you can use any multiple of 2. You can even increase it large enough, and you could make a pillow or a larger hot pad for your table. And you want to make sure to use 100% cotton yarn in case it got too hot and the acrylic melted. So you want to continue to your 36, and I will meet you back there when I've got that. Now that you've chained 36, you are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2, single crochet. And you're going to do 1 single crochet for each chain. And I like to use Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn because it's a little bit stiffer cotton yarn, and it works well for pot holders. And being a worsted weight category 4 yarn, it works out pretty quickly too. But any 100% cotton yarn would work. And Lily Sugar and Cream has tons of colors, ombres, multi colors. So keep continuing until you get to the end of your row. 1 single crochet in each chain. Just looks like this, a row of single crochet. And this is based on a very simple square potholder pattern that I learned when I first started to crochet when I was 8. Now that you've come to the end, you're going to do 3 single crochets in the last stitch. So I already have 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to turn your work and you're going to go down the other side of the chain, putting 1 single crochet in each of the stitches. So you just keep continuing with your single crochets, and it should look like this. You have like a long oval. 1 single crochet in each stitch. And this project's great when you're looking for something quick and practical, easy to do, doesn't need much yarn. You can also find more one skein crochet patterns on my blog, A More Crafty Life. And please subscribe for more free patterns. I have hundreds of free patterns on my blog. All my patterns have a free printable version, most of them a free PDF, usually found after the main pattern for you to download and use. Now that I'm getting to the end of my row, in the last single crochet on this side, I'm going to do 3. So there was 1, 2, and 3. So it looks like this. Then you're going to start your first round. And a round is just when you go around basically in a circle. And for this pattern, you don't need to slip stitch or anything like that. And you're going to just do 1 slip stitch in the first stitch and 1 half double crochet in the second. And that is the pattern for the rest of the potholder. So 1 slip stitch, 1 half double crochet, 1 slip stitch, 1 half double crochet, 1 slip stitch, 1 half double crochet. And it will start to look like this. This is, if you've ever used the even moss stitch, that's what this is. And for this pattern, that means that your slip stitch will always be, when you do the next round, your slip stitch will always be on top of a slip stitch, and a half double crochet will always be on top of a half double crochet. So if you end up with an extra stitch, or you forgot which stitch you're on, you know that it always is on top of the same stitch. Always a slip stitch on top of a slip stitch and a half double on top of a half double. It's also similar to what's called the crunch stitch, which instead of being on top of each other, you just alternate. So you keep going. And I will meet you back around when we get to the end of the round so you can see what it looks like. Now that I finished the round, it should look like this. It gives it kind of this little raised texture that you can see here. And when you come to the end, you should start over for your next round, and you want it to be a slip stitch. And if you don't end up with the right amount of stitches, just add either a slip stitch or a half double crochet to make it work out correctly. So then, so this is a slip stitch, and I'm going to put another slip stitch on top of it, and I'm going to start round 2. And it's just slip stitch on top of slip stitch and half double crochet on top of half double crochet. And you keep continuing, and I did 20 rounds. Once you'll want to measure to make sure it's a square, or if you want a rectangle, when you're happy with the sides with it flat. And I'll show you how that looks when I've come to the end and I've met in both sides together. So you just keep going around in the same round until your edges meet together. When you've done enough rows that it meets in the middle and it's flat as a square, so it looks like this, you are going to want to either sew or slip stitch it closed. So I like to slip stitch it closed because then I don't have to grab the yarn needle. So what you do is you go, starting from the top corner, you go through both stitches. So here's 2 stitches on this side, 2 stitches on the 2 pieces of the stitch, but 1 stitch either side. Yarn over, and then you pull through both stitches and the loop that was on your hook. And then you just repeat. So you go to your next stitch, go through both loops, yarn over, pull through both loops, and then the loop that was on your hook. And I didn't quite start at the top, but you'd want to make sure. And it makes kind of a flat, it makes kind of a ridge, but when you wash it, it flattens out. Another way to do this is to cut your yarn, knot it, and then get out your tapestry or yarn needle, which I have here. Leave a long tail, and then you can sew through either side, and you want to go just through the top part of the stitch, just 1 loop on the top of either side. You can see it here. You go through this one and you go through the other side, and so you just sew back and forth until you have it completed. And I made, and this is what it looks like on the other side, I made a small version of it. These would work for a coaster, so if you wanted to chain 18 with what you had left over, these work really well. You can find the written pattern of the even moss stitch double thick potholder on my blog, A More Crafty Life, with hundreds of other free patterns. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Hi, this is Heather from A More Crafty Life. Today I'm going to show you how to do the edge stitch left-handed. In the first picture, I used Line Brand Re-Up Cotton Yarn Confetti, which I'm not sure is available anymore. And here I am using Peaches and Cream Evening Sea and a 3.5mm crochet hook. Okay, so as I said, you need a multiple of 3 for this, so I'm going to chain 15. Okay, so when you have your 15, you are going to work 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet in the second stitch from the hook. So here's 1, 2. So 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet, all in the same stitch. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then you're going to repeat 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet, all in the same stitch. Okay, so it should start to look like that. And then this is the pattern. Skip 2, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet, all in the same stitch. Okay, skip 2, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet, all in the same stitch. And when you get to the end of your row, where you only have one stitch left, you do 1 single crochet, chain 1, and turn your work. And then this is where your repeat starts. So it should look like this. And you are going to do, this counts as the first single crochet. You're going to do a half double crochet in the first stitch and a double crochet. Then you are going to skip to the single crochet of the stitches before. So you skip these 2, and then the third one is the single crochet, and you're going to do your single, half double crochet, double crochet, and repeat. Go to the next single crochet, do 1 single, 1 half double crochet, and 1 double crochet, all in the same stitch. Skip to the single, do 1 half, 1 single, 1 half, and 1 double crochet, all in the same stitch. Okay, move on to the next singles from the row before. Do 1 single, 1 double, and 1 half double, 1 double, and then you do your final single crochet in the chain from the row before at the end of the row. And then you are going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to do the same thing. This counts as the first single, then you're going to do 1 half double, 1 double, skip to the next, to the single space, and do the same thing. 1 single crochet, 1 half double, 1 double, and repeat until you have the length that you want. I have a pattern for a washcloth on my blog, A More Crafty Life. Thanks for watching.